get straight onto the next map. It's going to be Raid, Capture the Flag. The first Capture the Flag we're going to be seeing between these two teams, Gooch.
Yeah, exactly, and it's going to be interesting. It's one of those maps that normally is very, very slow-paced gameplay. Capture the Flag on Raid, you do often see a lot of draws on this matchup going to stopwatch overtime. Just a quick look at the rule set for you, because of course we haven't seen Capture the Flag on main stage here today. Saturday in at EGL9 in Blackpool. There is no flag limit, so there's not a max amount of captures their team can get. It's just literally the team that captures the most flags will win. If it's a tie, it goes to stopwatch and overtime, which is essentially the fastest flag cap.
And as you've said before, Gooch, on this map, Capture the Flag, it can be the difference of just one flag that can win a game for a team. It's so difficult to actually get it on Raid. They can often end 0-0. We can go to overtime. We can have this replayed in the past. Of course, that wouldn't be taking place this time. But yes, it's a real close map. It's just so back and two the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those where a team can either sit back or go all-out aggression, which I suppose is the same with any map. However, Raid is one of those where you could sit back and just see out the entire round, which I hope neither team do. It's been such a good game so far. Fariko Impact really bringing it to Epsilon here, showing that they really want to win this tournament, and Epsilon unable to have an answer. Will they find one on Capture the Flag? We're just waiting for the teams just to sort out their class setups, and then we will of course get straight underway with Capture the Flag on Raid. And
let's discuss the routes really. I mean, there's pretty much three options that you can actually pull a flag here. You can go the statue side, you can go the river side, the two longer routes, or you can just blast it straight through the middle. The problem with this map is the score streaks.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those maps where the first team to capture will have the benefit of the score streaks. And of course, there isn't exactly that many places that you can run off and hide from. If you're going to run a flag route, it's all outdoors. There's not buildings that you can weave in and out of. So if you're running a flag and the enemy team does have a score streak, they can easily shut you down. It's just all in relation as to whether there's a player there to actually be able to return the flag and set it back to default point.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so exciting, really. I mean, you can just see the lightning strike out of absolutely nowhere, ending what could have been potentially the game-winning capture. There's just nothing you can do about it. So there is a lot of teamwork involved with this as well. You will often see people trying to get the 4 down before they even attempt to pull that flag, and people will be very conscious of giving away kills on this, where, of course, they will be taking that into consideration in other games, but this one more so than any other.
Oh, check out that new camera angle. I am liking the look of that. That gives a wide pan of the entire hall there. That is situated behind the Epsilon lineup there. As you can see, they are actually starting to get things underway. Ourselves in the middle, myself and Rel, just sat here in the middle of the two teams.
Okay, so it is game point now for Fariko Impact. Just this single victory on Capture the Flag Raid will allow them to take this 3-0. It will mean that the only games they have dropped in this bracket were actually against Equilibrium. A little bit surprisingly, the 2 maps they lost against those guys. Let's see if they can pull it off, starting off with Miracles.
Yeah, we are kicking things off with Miracle here as himself and Karma pushing straight down this right-hand side. A point where a lot of players just choose to try and hold rather than actually push through. Hopefully trying to take Epsilon by surprise here as they are pushing down this right-hand side. Parasite is quick to take down Jerd in the middle. Is that a Type 25 there? I think it may have been, as he gets his first kills on the board. Miracle takes down Lucky in that top area. Sour's quick to answer back, but Karma as well. Kills just being exchanged between the two sides as Miracle's pushing heavy. Does go for the spawn trap there as he takes down Jerd, and he has pulled that flag away. Go in for a shot in the back, but reverting backwards, just trying to bamboozle the enemy team here. And it looking like a great start from Fariko Impact, as they have played the entire tournament so far very well.
Yeah, Miracles actually did really well there. He wisely chose not to actually take that challenge against the Epsilon player and just avoided any sort of confrontation from Epsilon. He's managed to run this all the way, but he's very conscious of jumping in, and he does get the flag capture there. It is going to be 1-0 very early on to Fariko Impact.
Yeah, if we just get on board with Karma, who's just secured a 2-piece around that flag area, which meant that it was being able to be captured. Finally taking down Jerd, who did manage to take down the flag runner, but not able to do it in time. Sour's answering back with a kill on Killer, but kills just being exchanged between two teams as Karma's pushing up. What is Karma doing there? Just an extra few bullets just to guarantee the death of Jerd.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be surviving any sort of last stand there. Karma, though, poised and ready, actually just poking around that corner in a brilliant position to catch anybody off guard. He is expecting someone to come around there very soon, and as we've said before, Gooch, I do not expect Fariko Impact to do this at all, but with a 1 flag lead, they can start playing this game a little more slowly.
Yeah, of course they can. It looks as if the Epsilon lineup are really pushed back here. Let's get on board with Jurdy's trying to push out this middle. Does manage to pick up an assist. Sauer's helping him out there in that middle zigzag as Jurdy's going to push down this raid side. Would have thought they'll be facing some tough opposition down there, as there is a Fariko player making his way over, as we just saw in that bottom right-hand corner on that minimap. As Jurdy does come head-on-head with him, he's going to retreat, run away from that player, get into top laundry by the look of things. Doesn't have dexterity on though, I don't think.
And he does go down. Bad news for Epsilon here as 3 of them fall, leaving Sauers all by himself. Does manage to stay alive. Nice 2-piece there from Sauers. Almost a 3-piece against Miracles, but Lucky there to clean things up.
Yeah, let's get on board with Parasite, who does just die down to Lucky. Lucky on that 2-kill streak, who dies as well. McGee in that middle map.
Here we go, McGee trying to find someone moving down the right-hand flank, but he is answered by Killer, who was ready and waiting once again. Fariko making real good use there of the riverside. They're not actually making big pushes down there, but they're just preventing Epsilon making any sort of progress. With that said, 3 of Epsilon take out Fariko. Karma is all on his own. Yeah,
his teammate has just spawned to his right. Jurd absolutely destroying Karma there as he came around the corner, but Miracle quick to answer with a 2-piece. Any flag, a potential pull was shut out instantly by Fariko Impact there as Miracle is pushing down this left-hand side.
Yeah, here we go. He's having a little bit of trouble getting out the window there. Does make it eventually. Eats the MP. His location is revealed, but he manages to pick up the kill. Does not manage to get the follow-up against Jurd, but Killer there to clean things up once again.
Yeah, Killer using this AN94 to very good effect as well, I must admit. He did get prone block jumping down those stairs, just making sure that nobody can spawn that left-hand side and pulling straight through that red building.
Yeah, with the TCM game actually concluding to my knowledge, unless they are trying to wait for a next match up, I can see a huge crowd around the Horizon Prophecy match. I can only assume that's at 2-2 at the moment, but we will be bringing you an update later on. Straight back into this game though. Sauers, you're on 2 kills. What are you doing right? Make that 3 against Killer, and he's holding this left side very well.
Yeah, he is actually trying to push up on that right though to grab that flag, but Parasite quick to come back for him. Didn't want Sauers lurking around that flag area as Parasite does go down. Let's go on board with Karma, who's sat halfway up this raid side. Very interesting position, just waiting for a player to push out past him. He is going to see 2 here as he does fire shots onto Jurd. Jurd knows that he's got the support of his teammates somewhere, but he hasn't come to his aid. Does finally, as 2 of those players do manage to take down Karma. Killer in the middle map, once again taking down Sauers, but McGee. And this is looking much better from Epsilon. 30 seconds left on that clock, 35, sorry. This is going to be the last push of this half, I would have thought.
Yeah, they really want to bring the scoreline equal. They know that a 1-0 deficit going into round number 2 is bad news. But with the likes of Parasite flying around corners like that, it makes it extremely difficult as Sauers does go down as well. And it's actually Karma going for a little bit of a sneaky pull here.
I don't think he's got time. I mean, with only 15 seconds left on that clock, he would have had to run that straight through the middle. And Epsilon, although the shaky start there, I think they've upped their game since the very first opening 20 seconds or so. It was just unfortunate from them that they got down so early. And then, of course, who was it? It was Karma, was it? That literally ran straight back up that right-hand side and get that flag in.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, as you said yourself, Gooch, I think Epsilon were just caught off guard. There's nothing more that can really be said about that. The remainder of the game was fairly balanced from both sides. I would say Fariko Impact still had the edge, but Epsilon certainly had chances to make big pulls.
See, Epsilon really did manage to push them back at certain points, and yes, it was Miracle that actually managed to capture that flag. 10 kills, 10 deaths, 1 capture, and see, if you have a look at the scoreboard really quick, it's not any specific player really dominating here. Let's get on board with Killer, who has just been taken down by Sauers.
Yep, and we've got to quickly switch over then to one of the other players. Sauers actually having a bit of a nice game here. I mean, the scoreboard does show a 12, what will be 12-12 now, but he's been making some important kills. I want to see Epsilon. I want to see if they can get back into this. Jurd is actually temporarily the only person left alive.
He needs to defend this flag, which he is unable to do so, but his teammate Sauers off the spawn to help him out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bad news all over for Epsilon because they're having to go defense and they're struggling against Fariko, and that's not what they need to be doing at this point in the game. They should be the aggressors. They should be getting stuck in there, but it's just defend for them.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want it to get any worse, but in essence, they really do need to be pushing out here, which McGee tries to do, but Miracle quick to shut him down in that kitchen area. Kills just being exchanged between the 2 sides, which really doesn't actually help Epsilon here. They need to string 2 or 3 kills together, maybe get those score streaks on the board as well, and then that would really help them dominate. McGee getting taken down by the opposition there, unfortunate from him. as Karma takes down Lucky as well. They are trying to push up this right-hand side, do something a little bit different. Jerd trying to sneak around the back, which this is a very unconventional route really to push and capture that flag. Most teams try and just spawn trap on that back left, but Jerd takes down Parasite and moves around, but he has been EMP'd in the process. Ducks down, goes on that head glitch. Nobody there for him to take down though.
Well, he's in a nice position. He had been EMP'd, as you say, which completely got rid of that red dot site. We'll stay on Epsilon a little bit longer before we switch things over to Fariko Impact, just to see if they can somehow pull this out of the bag. And then we're going to see what Fariko Impact are actually doing to defend their home flag with them being 1-0 up.
Yeah, exactly. Sowers will stay on him for just one more life. It looks as if that won't be lasting too much longer, as he does come head-on-head with Killer. Tries to sneak round and get that kill, but Killer clearly just playing it wise there. Knows he doesn't need to challenge. Any mistakes made could cost them this lead, as Sowers just trying to hold this middle map area. This is looking better from Epsilon. They're not going down so much, but they do need to start making kills and pushing up the map. They are biding their time here.
Yeah, well, they are approaching with caution. I think that's the best way to say it. And they are making some firm progress. If we actually bring up the minimap, we can see it's actually Epsilon who are making the push up the middle map area, but Fariko shutting them down all over. And let's see, Karma, what are you up to?
It's looking as if Fariko are finally being able to get out of that spawn area. And if they do manage to implement the spawn trap here over towards that basketball side, that could be deadly. But Karma just wise to retreat there, as he has got an MSMC in his arsenal as well. Does get taken down by Jerd, as Jerd is steaming straight up that side. And we are on board with Killer, just watching that kitchen area, which is of course the most conventional route for pushing straight through the middle, which he does come head on head with Lucky there, not managing to land any shots, but is challenging. Doesn't manage to take down Sowers, but Parasite did.
Well, Miracles is actually making this push down Riverside once again. Epsilon picking up quite a few kills there. And it's very important at this stage for Miracles to stay alive. But he's not only doing that, he's taking out Lucky and he's advancing on the flag. He doesn't even need to, but with 1 minute 45 left on the clock, they want to shut this out completely and capture a second. This
really would be the win taken out of Epsilon sales should another capture be made. Epsilon have arguably look the stronger of the two sides here, purely because Fariko know they don't need to make any rash pushes, but Miracle has moved up this right-hand side for him, running straight back down on what is now the left-hand side, as that flag did get pulled towards them, but he has been taken down by Sowers. And that flag, of course, will get reset now, as Parasite's still adamant to move up, using that Type 25 to good effect, taking down McGee, but then gets shut down by Sowers. And 1 minute 13 left on that clock. It's looking late for Epsilon. They've left it very, very late here.
Yeah, just over a minute. I do not want to rule them out by any means, but 3 of them go down there, and this is looking great for Fariko. Who is pulling this flag? It is going to be Karma, and he is almost all the way home, and surely if they take this and get the 2-0 lead, that is going to be it for Epsilon.
Completely uncontested there as he managed to run that home. That is 2-0 with only 50 seconds left on that clock. I think that is it for Epsilon in this pool play. That will leave them coming second, I believe.
Second or third, it depends really on the Cloud EQ situation, but once we find out the final scores of that, we'll know exactly what happened there. But yes, as you say, it would temporarily put them at second place. The knife doesn't connect. So 30 seconds left on the clock. Let's just recap the scores that have been taking place so far here in this Fariko Impact versus Epsilon game. It's been 250 to 136 in Fariko Impact's favour on the hardpoint slums, a 6-2 victory on Search and Destroy Cargo, and what is looking to be a 2-0 victory on Raid Capture the Flag. Epsilon trying to go for a constellation capture.
See, now that is not the McGee that we are all used to seeing. 12 and 22 there from him, just to highlight a bit of a bad game. Not the greatest of scores. We're used to seeing him play a lot better, but it clearly does show how strong that Fariko Impact lineup are after they are refreshed and had a good sleep here in the Blackpool Norbreck Hotel.
Yep, 2-0 victory. It's going to be 3-0 overall, and that's going to mean Fariko Impact are the top of Pool B. It's going to put them at 5th seed going into this tournament, and we will be bringing you bracket updates later on. Good sportsmanship shown by both teams. Epsilon going over, congratulating Fariko Impact on their victory, and it's really nice to see the sportsmanship shown as well in the competitive environment.
Yeah, exactly. That does really shine through. Now, we're not entirely sure what game is going to be next on the main stage. I would assume that it is going to be a winner bracket round 3 or maybe even winner bracket round 4 game, as they are currently underway. So we will be seeing that game live on this main stage. Of course, there will be games over on the feature stage. That is twitch.tv/EGL9, of course. Both will be on very, very soon. It looks as if a set of teams are lining up over on the feature stage. It looks as if that is going to be Equilibrium and maybe Cloud.
Yep. Well, this has been the Turtle Beach Black Ops 2 Spring Championship stream, proudly sponsored by Turtle Beach. Of course, check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/European Gaming League. Let us know your thoughts. Are you getting involved with this? I hope you guys are, and I hope you're really enjoying this stream. We'll be with you guys later.